What in? It's the Bullshit and Free Health Podcast, episode 88. Actually, real quick, can you close these two windows real quick, homie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're not gonna have that feedback in the pod here, but actually, no, it's episode 89. I'm getting it all fucked up.
It's getting cold.
But come on now, it's getting cold.
It was chilly.
For all my brothers out there, we never cold. You know what it is. But don't laugh at my frat nigga. But no. So it's a another good week here. We're missing Devontae. He's out playing trivia and God knows where. No, he's in Norfolk. But we got Phil again filling in for us.
Peace.
Hey, that's a fucking. It's not a. No, it's not a. Fuck it. There's a joke there. I'm not smart enough to make it. We got Tete on the mic as well, and then yours truly, Jabari. We're here. But yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. Phil had actually brought up a pretty cool conversation. We were talking about my recklessness. As y'all know, I've been out to the home of our cousins and been arrested. I've been into the 5th of the district and got shot at, but
oh, I forgot about that.
In doing this, like, Phil brought up a pretty good question, and it's about just kind of the shared experiences of African Americans who, I guess, perceive themselves to be black, in America. Because I guess if you don't perceive yourself to be black, you're one of these motherfuckers from 2016, 2020 who was really Trump energized. You might not feel the same way, but for the majority of black people, as a defense mechanism through times, we've like shielded or tamed or what's the word?
Toned
ourselves down. Whenever we're entering particular spaces that might not be overtly friendly to our literal existence. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I would just say, as an individual who's grown up in a predominantly white society for a long time, for a large percentage of my youth, and then also my schooling. So, let's say grade school, then college, and then post-college with nursing school. It's like I'm not used to being in spaces where I'm the only black individual and having moments where you walk in the room and you turn heads just simply for the fact that you have all this luscious melanin. And it's like, damn, bro, like that does have an intrinsic feeling in you. But I don't know what it is. I have a theory about why I refuse to tone myself down in a lot of occurrences. Because I'm not going to say this. There isn't times where I do be on my best behavior, should I say. But majority of times, like, I'm authentically me, man. And I would say it's probably from the fact that, I don't know if you know this, but I have a white stepfather.
Whoa.
Yeah! Boom! And so, like, I've always said, like, yo, like, I'm a black man with the confidence of a white man. No,
it's a powerful weapon.
But no, yeah. So like, I don't know if it's the fact that like I had a white stepfather for the large majority of my youth. My parents.
When did your parents get married?
So my parents got married when I was 2, and then they got divorced when I was, separated since I was 15. Divorced like officially, I would say when I turned 16, which is probably my sophomore year of high school. So he was. And he is, in all intents and purposes, my father. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he's the man who raised me. Now, my dad, or like my biological, or he's my dad. My father would be James Terrell, which is a man that, like, I still have not had the greatest rebuilding of a connection, but like the groundwork has been laid, and so we're working on all that shit, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like my individual experience possibly might allow me in a lot of spaces to like. Nah, this is some white man shit. You know what I'm saying? Because from a young standpoint, like I had a man in my life who, wanted the best for me. Didn't necessarily understand my experiences as a youth growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that never stopped me from living the youth that I lived. Especially like the outlets I had, skateboarding, music. Like my first CD I owned was 50 Cent, Get Rich, Die Trying. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not on now. All that to say, like, it's like, I don't know, I just refuse, especially in a world where, like, we are bombarded with scenes and imagery that try to enforce in our minds that we're less than, or that a lot of the world does view us as a second-class citizen. Like, it's like, I'm not gonna do that to myself, especially in a space where, like, no, like, in the name of, like error or like the law, like we're all in the right here. You know what I'm saying? Like in this board meeting, in this staff meeting, on this intramural soccer field, at this dining establishment. Like, no, we're all equal here. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I'm in trouble with the law, my nigga, if I'm in trouble with an establishment, and I wouldn't even say if I'm in trouble at work, because that kind of like dictates. Like, I've never been in trouble at work. You know what I'm saying? I've had disputes with coworkers, and at the same time, I'm still authentically myself, right? Ain't no doctor ever yelled at me and I haven't yelled back. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's like, you got some shawties that they drop a tear. I'm like, bitch, if you don't go fucking run a new one, like whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I don't know what it is that keeps me able to just kind of like, be me. Like, I remember when I first started nursing, or not first started nursing, when I was about to graduate and I was thinking about jarting locks. I'd actually asked my instructor what she had thought. White woman, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's because I like to get input from all areas. And she was like, I don't think it'd be a good idea until you... I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Next day, boom, got the bitches. Like, it's like, what are you gonna tell me, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like
Precisely.
It's not an option for me to tone myself down. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it does nothing to anybody else. Like, it's honestly so hypocritical too, I think. Well, I mean, not I think, like I know, because you have the opposite side of the spectrum allowed to show ass at every given turn now. You know what I'm saying? Like, on presidential platforms, you've had individuals be able to show not just pride in themselves, but like xenophobic pride in themselves. And it's like, why can't I just be myself? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, Roger or Kenny can't fucking rock the Justin Bieber, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, like, let me rock locks, bro. Let me be me in all
I feel
facets.
like that's just a certain confidence that comes with, at a young age, having, the family structure that gives you the confidence to be yourself, because a lot of times if you don't have, people saying that like, this is normal, this is fine, then a lot of times people shy away from doing certain kind of shit, or they tell you, oh, don't act this way, or turn yourself down because you don't want white people to feel uncomfortable. So I think that your perspective is, especially as a black man, is something very it's unique, because you never had, you had a white man saying, your dad who loved you, saying, no, don't turn yourself down.
Well,
go
actually,
do this thing.
I'm
sorry. Yeah.
No, I don't mean to cut you off, but what I'm saying is,
no, cut me off.
I had a white man in my life who loved me, but didn't understand the culture of which I was coming from, because you can't, right? And in doing that, he had a certain way that he thought I should be brought up.
Yeah. I mean, was he into like skateboarding and shit?
No,
Did he like that?
No,
he didn't like that.
So it's so funny. And this goes to a joke that I forgot who fucking said it. I don't know if it was a comedian or if it was one of the homies, but they were basically like, they don't understand people who date outside their race when the person they're dating outside their race acts like the race that they're dating outside of. You get like black women who date white dudes who like act black, like, okay, this nigga like Fez from Euphoria, like what the fuck's going on, nigga? My mom like did it right. Like, she fucking found a white dude who's the white dude. Like, he's in the Navy 20 years. He's from Indiana. Like, he played basketball, wrestled, baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like, majority of stuff I do now, soccer, skateboarding.
I see.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You had like a middle America white man
as my dad.
You had the archetypical white man.
Exactly. And so what I'm saying is, like, I literally had the man in my house, and somehow, like, instead of conforming and being like one of these motherfuckers out here who wants to go and support Trump and date white women and literally just be like, black girls are this. There's nothing wrong with dating white women, but the only problem with dating white women is when you give your opinion on why you don't want to date black women. And it's like,
precisely.
You know what I'm saying? I had everything lined up to be one of these motherfuckers. And like,
is your dad like a Trump supporter?
No. So here's the thing. my dad's middle America white man, but like middle America liberal white man, like ahead of the curve. Every
white man with a
my cousin Reginald. I don't know if the pod's heard about my cousin Reginald. I don't know if I told you about my cousin Reginald. My cousin Reginald came to live with me when I was 14, he was 16 at the time. He's bisexual, he's gay. And like he's like where I got most of my style from early on, but like that was at a time when being gay was still very like the reason, I don't want to put his business out there, but there was like familial reasons why he came to live with me, my mom, and my dad's house at the time. Right. And it's because like there was nowhere else he could go. And my dad was like, no, yeah, definitely comes to, like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? All that to say, there's different things in life that we had headbutts on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, the person that I know people are listening and going, damn, man, how'd you do that, man? This nigga came black on his own. Where was his mom? Don't get started, bro. Don't you dare try to come over here towards Fifi, bro. I will fuck y'all niggas up. My mother is, I would say, the person you're talking about who, no matter what I did, band, soccer, baseball, fucking watching anime, you know, wearing, but still like wearing all the big, you know how we went through like, you know, big wear, you know, and like we had the Looney Tunes jean, you know what I'm saying?
The Lot 29.
Literally, I'm still doing all that, so it's kind of like, you know, it's like dating black women, dating white women, dating. I didn't have any Hispanic women. I still haven't had a Hispanic woman. Well, that sounds kind of possessive and crazy, but either way, my mom was like with my back every step of the way. You know, she was like,
yeah,
that's my shawty, bro.
So real
I would say that's where I probably got all the support from. But there was equal and opposite, like, yeah, how about this way, bud? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I refuse, bro. Like, especially like right now, because do y'all have any words on this? Like, why? Like, I mean, Tete comes from a great family. I don't know.
But I mean, my parents are, you know,
African
immigrants. There's a pressure to conform almost to the white man's will, essentially, just to make them comfortable, like you said.
Right.
I remember we were at Pittsburgh University going to see my sister. She was doing something there. We had the whole family with us. My brother Junior, he's a black teenager. He was 16 at the time, and he had a hoodie on, and he put the hood on. That's all he did. He put the hood on. It's cold. It's Pittsburgh. My dad's like, hey, take it off. People will look at you like you're a gangster. And it's like, me and my sister at this point, like, you know, we're not with that shit anymore. It's kind of like, no, he can wear his hood if he wants to. It's cold. He should be able to wear a hood. Right. You know? No one's going to shoot him out here, and they shouldn't. You know?
They shouldn't.
But
that's where we're at with it. It's like, I feel like, to me, like, it's like somebody's going to think you're a gangster. That comes from conforming, but also conforming out of fear.
That's the main thing.
And that's, I think, like, what gets me super angry. It's like, the conforming to me isn't anything of, like, I just feel like we shouldn't do this because they're going to keep fucking with us. It's like, they're going to keep fucking with us.
Right.
Like,
but I think that also comes from certain parts. It depends on what part of the country you're also from. Yeah. If you grew up in the South, like my father was born in Alabama, in the most racist part of the country, period. You know, fortunately, he grew up in an area that had a predominantly black demographic, but the state is known to have done some of the most horrendous shit.
Yeah. Right.
With Jim Crow laws, there were certain rules about the way that you were supposed to carry yourself as a person. Mm-hmm. For instance, you were not allowed to look a white person in their eye. Mm-hmm. You know, you couldn't sit at the same seat or eat. So a lot of times, especially if because we're not that far away from Jim Crow. You know,
at all.
Like my dad remembers this. You know.
No, I love this. I don't love to say it, but one of the moments that always grounds me is going like, yo, my grandfather was born before the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
You see?
Like, it's like, some of
It
these
was
things
not
we
a
take for
long
granted.
time
It's
ago.
not a long time ago at all.
I think that's like it's a blessing and a curse that, you know, we're moving in a very, you know, hyper way where we live in a hyper society.
Right.
But at the same time, it wasn't that long ago, and progress has been made, but only to a certain degree. So you still have people that are genuinely traumatized from the experience of
The past. Yeah.
the past,
And I don't disagree. And that's a good
and they're raising the future.
fact to
hard.
receive empathy for. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't sympathize because I was born into a world that like, nah, my nigga, I was told, like, it might have been skewed, but I was at least told that like at one point we didn't have rights. Y'all motherfuckers are crazy, but like, no, I got rights today, and you best believe I'm gonna fucking use them. You know what I'm saying? And like, the world is changing. It's changing, and there's nobody who can stop that with the advent of technology. I mean, you see, like, I think in today's time, it's most evident that the powers that be that want to keep social class the way it is have figured out the best way to do it is by keeping out information. But it's super hard to keep out information when you have the internet, right? And now, yes, the internet can lead you to a lot of the wrong avenues for information, but the information's still out there, so it gets you wondering, gets you guessing, right? Black people, bro, like, and not as a monolith, like black people who've lived the black experience in America, 'cause that's really truthfully who all I can speak for at this moment. Now, I advocate for black people all over the world, you know, but when it comes to like my experience, like, I've grown to learn that like it's very hard, well, not very hard, like you shouldn't generalize black people as a monolith, because we do have different experiences, of course, based off of different regional differences, but different like continental differences that very like your outlook on things, like
Socioeconomic.
because even when you go to like him, like Tete talking about how his grandfather or his father's experience is based off of like what he's experienced, or how he like parents.
Yeah.
I've had fraternity brothers who like have asked questions about certain like struggles black people have had in America. One of which being like, how come we haven't been able to coalesce as a group and allocate and distribute resources like other minority groups in America have, right? Especially since we've had quite amount of time, right? And through arguing with them, you know, the various terrorist fucking actions that have happened from the government, and different governmental programs that different African American groups, but like different black people have been left out of throughout history. Mass incarceration, blah, 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 blah. Through all that argument, like, one of the things that I came to an understanding of is like, oh, like, no, like you have a certain belief and like, yo, like, keep pushing, woo, this is how you get better through time, gradual improvement, because like you have this immigrant background of like, yo, my dad came from Ghana and like he started out as whatever blue collar worker, took himself through night school, is now a PA, put my mom through nursing school, and now we're worth upwards of $250,000. I'm going to graduate school. You know, we've put our cousin through this. Like, where the fuck is it? And it's like, no, it's just a different, like you have a different story, which allows you a lot of times to effectively use the systems that America still does have for people like picking themselves up by their bootstraps, better, you know. But you can't. It's one of those things where it's like you can explain that so somebody can empathize, but like they can't sympathize with it because you don't have that upbringing or experience, you know. And I don't know. It's definitely like something that I've just over the years really been trying to take note of when different shit just happens, bro. Because it's like, bro, niggas just don't understand it because they can't understand, you know. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep pushing on like me, bro. Like I'm gonna keep living my life. Pause out loud. But I'm gonna keep doing me, bro. I'm gonna keep skating. I'm gonna keep living out my passions. That's one of the things I hear about work. People love the fact that like, like, oh, he does this. It's so cool you do that. And someone's like,
truly,
motherfucker, I'm a person, bro. Like it's like I'm not just gonna go here and live out this life the way that y'all think I should, based off of how people have so far. Like I'm gonna keep pushing this thing forward.
Right.
And I'm gonna pay my dues though. Shit, I wipe up shit. I pay my dues. So
truly,
yeah. But speaking of like just black people though and their treatment.
Yeah,
we're already
and shit being the same.
And shit being the same and shit just being crazy. I think it would be neglectful of us to not use this time to transition into a pretty much the heaviest topic of the night before we get into something a little bit lighter. But have y'all been seeing what's going on with Ukraine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Russia? Clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, so
pray for Ukraine.
Pray for Ukraine first and foremost, and I want to preface this by saying, like,
pray for Somalia. Pray for Palestine.
Definitely.
Pray for all of the countries that are in conflict.
It's 11:48 on March 1st, and shit has already changed again. So when this comes out on Sunday, if we're at like a full-blown nuclear war because Putin's lost his mind and
we all go to hell.
And we're all just out of here, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I did my part. But for those of you who have been living under a rock, or, well, would you say your phone's a rock because it has minerals that puts it together? No. Niggas try to get
minerals harvested from Africa, by the way.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's really true.
But like if you've just been tapped out, because we live in a society now that allows you to escape so much so that we can we're literally in like a prequel to another Cold War, to a second Cold War.
This is how they start.
This is the Cold War. You know, this is what our parents have been scared of.
Technically, it truthfully is because
factual.
Ukraine would be Cuba. In this period of time, Russia is playing the role
of the United
States. And it's just all nasty when we really think about it. But for those of you who've been living under a rock and don't know what the fuck's going on, I have a little timeline just to, get us all caught up to fucking speed. Well, actually, there's a few different timelines I found, because like this conflict is actually...
It's been going on since
the 50s.
2014.
Well,
yeah, true.
Well,
yeah.
The 50s.
There was a head during... Yeah, go. So, please.
Basically, one of the timelines I have, okay, do I want to give the fucking... Ooh, dude, man, maybe I lost it. Oh, no, it's right here. Reuters.com? Yeah, that's a pretty reputable brand, right? I would say. They basically have it dating back to... Give me a second, my eyes are bad. 1991. It was after the fall. Yeah, okay. So basically, they dated back to 1991 after the fall of the Soviet Union, when Ukraine officially declared their independence from Moscow.
Right.
So, for those of you who don't know, Russia used to be a part of this big thing called the USSR, which was similar to the United States, which made it like a superpower during the World War II times and
into the Cold War.
Yeah. Which was between us and Russia. No fighting actually happened, but niggas were like literally like
on the brink of nuclear disaster.
Niggas were like we're like literally in the room swinging dick, like dicks on the table, and neither willing to admit the other was smaller. Like that's what happened.
While the rest of the world went through an existential crisis.
While the rest of the world is sitting there like not only in an existential crisis, it's just like what the fuck is happening? Which is that's exactly an existential crisis. I'm sorry, Phil, but either way.
No.
So I think because literally after they declared independence, like there was this big discussion between NATO, which again, if you don't know what the North Atlantic Treaty Organization is, it's kind of hard to continue talking at a quick pace because, like, dude, like how much U.S. world history, civics do we got to go through? But either way,
honestly, a lot, because that's how these conflicts are wrapped up. You know?
Yeah, like, exactly.
It's a very, very deep topic. You know, this didn't just happen yesterday.
So, oh my God, damn! There's a video that's like 30 minutes long that one of the news correspondents I listen to says is very good at explaining this entire topic from like
Is
the
it
90s.
Don Lemon?
No, it's not Don Lemon. It's it's like, you know, not a random YouTuber, but it's like somebody who actually put a lot of work into it, right? I will find that after our music break, which we'll take after this, because I feel like we'll need a new music break after this. This is going to get a little heavy. But either way, so now Ukraine's independent. They're right next to Russia. At this point in time, again, watch the video, there's like there's a few pipelines that are going through Ukraine to Germany, which for those of you, they're not, go from Russia to Ukraine to Germany, which Russia was was using a lot for their one of their main exports, which was oil apparently at the time, I guess, whatever. Russia wants to not have to pay high tariffs or high export fees or whatever for the oil, so naturally they would want to have the best relationship you can have with Ukraine, right? Which with Ukraine would be like, yo, which we own you, like, come here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So tensions are high. Ukraine wants the UA or the EU and NATO to like allow them to join, because then if you're a part of NATO, you have the United States on your side, right?
Right.
United States, because what Russia is doing is increasing tensions, but at the same time isn't something that we haven't done ourselves. You know, look at wars in the Middle East. It's kind of like, we want to help you, but they got nuclear weapons, we don't want to do this, which basically led all the way to, I think, the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, or no, 2004, my bad, I went backwards, but a pro-Russian candidate, Viktor Yanukovych, he basically won, right? And so what this nigga was good at in Ukraine was that he was friends with Putin. So he had got trade deals that were lucrative, you know, we're all happy. I'm not going to join the European Union. I'm not going to join NATO. Everything's chilling. So we're chilling for like a decade, right? Nothing's going on. And then in 2014, was it pro-Russia? No. It's like somewhere here in 2014, 2015. They basically overthrow whatever his name is, Yankovic. Like, he's taken out of office. I don't know the fucking specifics of it. Look, this is just nigga news. But basically, now Ukraine is less pro-Russian, okay? And this is where most recent times tensions start flaring, basically, right?
But there is an important point. Ukraine did give up their nuclear weapons in order to have the backing of the U.S. at some point.
When was that?
I would have to say this would be after the President Victor was ousted. Because technically Ukraine is technically a part of NATO, but they're just not part of the EU.
Yeah, for some reason this isn't giving me any highlights on fucking
and
what do you call it? Nuclear weapons, but shit.
But that's part of the problem. Like, you don't have any sort of nuclear weapons to say, well, don't fuck with us.
Right, or a military as strong as Russia's.
Well, pause. No, we'll get to that. But basically, so in 2019, basically, former comic actor Vladimir Zelensky is elected president. Okay, and I want y'all to remember that name, Zelensky.
Yeah.
Wait, a comedian?
Yeah. So this is the thing. So like, and like, I kind of remember a little bit about this. Like, so again, we're now in 2019. We're about to hit the pandemic. We have now had 1.5 years of Trump being president. So we're in this time, remember, that a lot of different...
You mean Biden?
Biden?
What year are you talking about?
2000... You're right. No.
Are you talking about post-COVID?
I'm talking about pre-COVID, 2019. That was Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah, that was Trump.
That's like Biden or
that was Trump. That was
I
Trump.
basically mean Trump. So we're in this like post-political world or political theater world, you know, where like the curtain's kind of been raised a little bit, and yes, you still have people putting on a mask in politics, but if you're like clearly a little unhinged, you're allowed to just not wear a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
fucking okay.
Yeah, it's like, yo, I'm gonna be extremist and you're gonna fucking like it. You know what I'm saying? And normally it's coming from a conservative leaning way, right? But this person, Vladimir, was it Vladimir? No, it's Volodymyr. I don't know how you pronounce it. That's kind of crazy. Vladimir. I don't know. Either way, this dude Zelensky gets elected. And he's a comic, and everybody's playing Ukraine, bro. They're like, yo, we got it bad with Trump. Y'all just went and fucking did the same thing. Fucking, what is it? The UK has Boris Johnson. Like, y'all, like, what the fuck is happening in the world right now? Why do you guys keep electing these unconventional, unprofessional, white men to office, right?
Right.
All right. So all that's good. Now we get to 2021, January 2021, where Zelensky appeals to U.S. President Joe Biden to let the Ukraine join NATO, right? And this is where basically shit starts to get a little testy, because in the spring of 2021, Russia began amassing troops near Ukraine's border, which they are saying is a normal training exercise.
Right.
And so now, like, you have different political pundits talking about this, Russia raging aggression. You have different interests in the United States at this point debating different things, right? You have a lot of people down the left political lane either saying they agree for Ukraine going for pro-NATO talks because, as I guess that they were saying, we've been talking with them about releasing their nuclear weapons, we're leaving them at harm's way. Then you have some more, what do you call it? Not just left-leaning, but progressive left-leaning, saying, hey, I understand, but if we allow Ukraine to join NATO and we put nuclear weapons back in Russia, who is a nuclear state already, might look at that as direct aggression, and we could literally like flip the switch on a madman, right? Which is Putin. Then you have the far right saying, they're like the far right saying, we fucking love Putin's dick, don't let Ukraine in NATO. And then you got some on the right saying, no, we should arm NATO. Or we should arm the Ukraine because fuck Russia, right?
Yeah.
We have so many competing ideals in 2021, right? Then next we get to December 2021, where satellite images show basically Ukraine troops surpassing 100,000. December, Russian security demands that NATO pull back troops. January 2024, NATO forces go on standby. So like aggressions are just mounting to what? To we're in February now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, basically,
Shit's just fucked.
Yeah, shit's just fucking fucked. So basically, we're in February 2022, and we start imposing sanctions on Russia. And like they're like slight sanctions.
After they committed an act of aggression, right? Like this month is when they actually
been bombing. There's been like massive bombings, right?
Yeah, they invaded Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
really,
it doesn't say what point in 2022. It just says 2021.
I feel like
Putin said, I guess it was 21 because they say Putin gets on the fucking airwaves and says Ukraine is an integral part of Russian history and that's puppet regime managed by foreign powers. Putin orders on what he calls peace-taking forces in 2 breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine after recognizing them as independent. Yeah, okay. So February 21, 2022, this nigga basically said, let's get it. U.S. imposes sanctions. The most recent updates, I would say, it was in like what? Here, my little notes come into effect. That on the 27th of, what do you call it? February, they had basically we're going to go to peace talks. Because as you were saying, Russia has everyone thought Russia had a larger military, a more powerful military than a small country like Ukraine. Even Russia thought that. Yeah. What Russia was not expecting, though, or at least what Vladimir Putin was not expecting, was the Ukrainian people being as resilient and as brave as they are for the ones that are fighting against the Russian.
Right, the civilian.
Literally, yeah.
Or
so
the enlistees.
Yeah. So basically, for those of you guys that remember the name Zelensky, this nigga had a call to arms. So I guess all the men in his country to like pick up arms and fight for their country, and they did it, bro. Like fuck a lot of y'all motherfucking American, not fuck all y'all fucking Americans, but a lot of y'all American niggas out here, incel niggas out here talk about, I want to go to war, testosterone. You haven't done a push-up in like 4 years. You got niggas out here who actually said, nah, let me put the GTA sticks down and we outside today, bro.
Let's go.
Like, they picked up their AKs and they said, what's good? I've seen viral photos of like motherfuckers getting married and then like the next day putting on the guns and going out there. That's some like...
And you've got Ukrainian
Red
sports
Dawn,
stars
like,
joining the army.
That's some movie shit. That's some blockbuster movie shit, bro.
Yeah,
Now listen.
On the other hand, I've also seen some very damning photos.
Now we'll get there.
Soldiers wearing swastikas and other. This is
so listen. So that was actually one of Vladimir Putin's reasons for he's saying invading Ukraine was that they have Nazis there.
So they have Nazis and they're committing genocide of the Russian people that live there.
Yeah, but let's first and foremost, there's Nazis in Russia. There's Nazis in America. There's Nazis in the UK.
right.
I think two things can be mutually exclusive, right? I think you could have a foreign power invade a sovereign nation, right? And in that sovereign nation, you have brave citizens who are patriotic and fighting for the country,
Right.
as well as citizens who might be a part of some organizations with ulterior motives, but still are maybe fighting for the country, or I don't even know, right? You know what I'm saying? That's all I would say on that aspect, right?
Absolutely.
The only diversion of topic against Ukraine, I think that I'm willing to give right now is on the discussion of refugees, right? So again, this nigga Zelensky came out and said, "Yo, call to arms," while they were saying women and children, we're gonna try to get y'all out to different countries, right? So I think we're caught up on everything. We know there's been tension since the 1990s to the 2000s. They had a pro-Russia president. They took him away. It was like, yo, are we going to join NATO or we're going to join the European Union? Russia ain't like that. Russia said, yo, we got Putin in here, and I'm honestly the biggest cuck in the world. You know, because let's keep it a band, bro. Putin has so many weird fucking sex, bro. You could be the most richest man on the planet, and then you want to go invade a sovereign nation for shits and giggles or just more money, which you didn't even foresee that you're going to fucking fuck up your economy. Doing a war?
He has a different goal in mind.
Yeah,
he wants to
What is his goal, bro?
He wants to recreate the Soviet Union.
I don't think so, bro.
Absolutely.
How are you going to recreate the Soviet Union when you've just bankrupted your economy, bro? Because the world has shut you off. So
right. So he didn't expect that type of response.
So,
not just from the sanctions of the U.S., but like everything that operates in Russia.
So
they seized all of the assets of Russia.
They literally so they cut off the Russian central bank and a lot of like the major banks in Russia, right? So you can't. I don't think it's like you can't. Not only so basically is the Russian dollar like worth nothing now right now.
Okay.
But also you can't outsource the money. Like you can't like try to exchange your money for nothing either. So all of the debts that Russian citizens or Russian oligarchs have to like other countries, because like the only banks they haven't frozen just yet are the Swedish banks apparently. And that's where it gets nasty when I'm talking back again. Like, there's Nazis in every country, bro. There's literally like an Illuminati with these motherfuckers when it comes to like the uber wealthy. And remember how like I always be talking like, oh, we'll never go to war with China.
Citizens.
Well, we'll never go to war with China because we owe them too much money. You know, a lot of niggas in this country owe them too much money too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Same thing with Russia right now. It's like you got billionaire oligarchs like Vladimir Putin, who were cut off from society, didn't know what was going to fucking happen, or thought they knew what was going to happen if they invaded a sovereign fucking nation, which all of us niggas on the ground who realize that we're now in a world that's like trying to get postmodernism, you know? So it's like, you can't just do
whatever you want.
You can't do shit from like the 1930s, 1940s, my nigga. Like we got cell phones, my nigga. Like,
yeah, I mean, Apple is not even selling. What do they do? Suspend sales in Russia now?
It's literally,
the operations have ceased.
Again, it's like one of the political commentators I've listened to said we're literally witnessing if the age of modern warfare is over. You know, is it like what matters more? Is it like physical firepower or is it financial power?
Right.
because right now you're seeing that like they've crippled the nation through sanctions, and it's only been 5 days.
True.
That on top of the fact that you do again like have Russian citizens, many like there's already been like 6,000 arrests of Russian citizens who have been out in the streets protesting Putin. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think this nigga and his like he's a Donald Trump-esque dictator. You know what I'm saying? He's so absorbed in his own world, probably through like not only media he's observing, but through his yes men that's around him.
But he's definitely a lot more cunning and calculating than a Donald Trump, because this is something that's been planned over decades.
But listen, what I'm saying is, I think when you talk about like world domination, being cunning and being a narcissist probably does less for you than being ignorant. Because
I don't know.
Now you're not only
that's not true.
You're not,
because you got Adolf Hitler in that same vein.
But no. So two different times. I'm saying like right now at a time when like you can be so cut off from the world that like you think in all your arrogance that like you cross your I's, you dot your T's, but you're also not willing to listen to you motherfuckers who are in your fucking audience who maybe are a little bit more tapped in. Like, bro, like I don't think the people want to go to war, dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't think this. It's like no, fuck that. Like I'm Vladimir Putin. Like I'm the KGB god. You know what I'm saying? Like I fought an actual war. You know what I'm saying? Yo, bro, like these motherfuckers, like even in the military, bro, like because there's a site that came out about our military that we've been using the wrong type of recruitment practices because now you have a bunch of motherfuckers who are out of shape and woo. I'm sure the same thing's happening.
I mean, now we're like fighting with drones and shit. Like it.
But listen. All this to say, the fact of the matter is, regardless of how we envisioned Putin before this, nobody foresaw like Ukraine holding their own against a country like Russia, because like at the end of the day, it's like Russia hasn't been able to just walk through.
But then again, over. I mean,
and because they haven't been able to do that, there's been enough financial distress upon them that it's making Putin look like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
I agree, and I'm glad that this is like. I hope things get better, but things could get a lot fucking worse. That's what I'm saying. Russia hasn't really pressed them.
No, you know Russia has pressed them, and you want to know why? Russia's pressed them? Because Putin's already been flirting with his Trump card. It literally came out the other day that
he put his
nuclear forces on high alert.
But that's a more of a scare tactic than a
it's a scare tactic. Listen, it's a scare tactic. But when would you use the scare tactic?
He's just trying to make everyone alert.
But why?
This is a lot of
because you're losing respect.
So it's a propaganda thing. It's a propaganda thing,
and it makes you look even shittier. Because now listen. Because listen, again, we're all tapped in.
In the sense of what sense of
we're all tapped in. We're all tapped in, right?
Right.
To me and you and Tetse, a nuclear war means what?
End of the world.
Total fallout.
End of the world.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
To sane motherfuckers. So Putin,
you think Putin isn't aware of that?
That's what I'm saying.
In all of his arrogance, you still don't think he's aware of it.
In all of his arrogance, I know he's aware of it. But what I'm telling you is this. It's like, yo, bro, it's like, so the idea is, if I know that Putin knows that a nuclear war is immediate, just death for everybody, like nobody fucking wins, the odds of you using it, if we're talking about rational thought, are less than hopefully 1%, right? Now, if we're using rational thought, if we're using irrational thought, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. This is fucking scary. But if we're using rational thought,
if we're using
rational thought, there's like less than a 1% chance this nigga would actually say, "Let's go push the fucking button."
No, he would never.
It's mutual annihilation.
Right.
So then, why 5 days into the fucking conflict? It's not been a month and it's been drawn out. It's not been like shit. Like these Ukrainians are really doing it to us. After 5 fucking days, which again is a long time. If you're fighting on the ground,
5 days of propaganda and the hardcore. I mean, we have to remember how Iraq.
What do you mean by propaganda?
I mean, in the sense of
the death counts we're getting aren't what's the word?
Falsified.
not falsified. They're not. We haven't seen all who's died yet. You know, it's day by day type shit. We won't know probably for like a month later, like how many people actually died. Because again, in their first strikes, they weren't like bombing uninhabited areas. They were bombing all of the national airports. They were bombing the city of Kyiv, which is like their capital. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like if they would have bombed in Virginia, like Richmond. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're not bombing. 20 meters outside of fucking King George, you know, where it's like, we might get a few townspeople, but, you know, we're not getting like a populated city type shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That with the fact that they even went to agree to do peace talks right after, to me, it shows a nigga like trying to use all of his trump cards, because once you go nuclear, where do you go after that, bro? It's
the reason why I say it's a scare tactic is because right now,
it's more for defense.
Yeah, it's Ukraine versus Russia. But if you pull out that nuclear, just even mention it.
He's like, don't even talk.
No, pause. You don't give the West pause.
Yes, you do. You do give the West pause when you say.
Because we're using rational thinking. We're using rational thinking, right? It doesn't give the West pause because the West was already at it.
But if you have this propaganda of Putin is a crazy individual and he put these individuals on high alert, if the United States as even thinks of getting into the conflict, then we have that same scare that our parents had during the Cold War.
I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is
if you invade or if you do this, then
I'm seeing what you're saying. What I'm telling you is we're already there.
We haven't gotten to that step.
We're already there because the mutual understanding. Remember, this has been going on since the 90s. The whole reason Ukraine didn't join or didn't just become a part of NATO or the EU is because that would have been to Russia, it would have been like a declaration of, we're doing this shit. The United States is arming Ukraine, putting nukes back in there because they're a part of NATO. So now if we attack NATO, which is we've been aggressing towards already, we're already here. So let's preemptively strike. It was known since they preemptively strike because people were trying to tell Biden that he needs to escalate his talking points before. But there were people, again, who were saying, nah, bruh, like,
don't fuck with that
nigga. Like we like it sucks, but we can't really do anything because again, this is already a Cold War standpoint. This is a country
very serious.
It is serious because this is a country on the peninsula of Russia.
It is serious.
Already nuclear power. So what I'm telling you is, Putin never needed to say anything because it's what's understood doesn't need to be stated. Like we already understood that we can't necessarily go and just aid Russia or aid Ukraine literally on the ground or through like direct aid that's military right now because Russia, with how they've already acted and they've been talking, will take that as an excuse that's saying, so now this is a nuclear power versus nuclear power fight. Right. Which is why, again, and you look at that again with how Biden was hesitant to do sanctions, slowly did sanctions, how we're still at a point where we're not unilaterally just going, because some people will say, the sanctions have worked so well, why don't the Swedes just cut off the banks to the oligarchs and now nobody has money in Russia because niggas are like, bro, like, because then if you do that too, it's like, well, what, like, you force Putin, this person that we're all still hoping is thinking rationally, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Into such a corner where like all he has is now, well, fuck it, they left me no choice.
I genuinely think we have to remember a thing when it comes to war is that it's very deliberate. Nobody's gonna bomb. Russia is not gonna bomb the United States outright because there are a lot of Russian citizens that live in the United States. That's the first thing. The second, you have to think about.
I don't think they give a fuck
and the
about
Russians.
citizens.
Wait, think about it. The Russians in the United States. A lot of Russians in the United States, not to say all of them, but have money and have some type of affluence within the area.
There you go.
Quite deeper than we might realize.
I agree.
So it could be, prostitution or gambling or any of these things that genuinely do exist within this country, like drugs as well too. Massive amounts of money that just is not going to go anywhere, and people are not going to allow to go anywhere. As crazy as these conflicts sound, the one thing that is fueling it is capitalism.
Facts.
You know, the reason that Russia is so obsessed with Ukraine is oil.
No. So it's not only oil; it's natural gas. Like
Natural gas.
There apparently was a
their
big
resources.
discovery. There was a big discovery of like natural gas deposits in Russia,
Right.
And actually, one of the cities
In
along the
Russia or in
coastline-
Ukraine?
In Ukraine, along like the coast of Ukraine, where that natural gas is being
Right.
harvested. Russia's already like
So Russia-
85% of it they've already like
Right.
conquered, which just shows one of the reasons why Putin did take the initiative to invade.
Right.
And I see what you're saying about like it
And
would be not political suicide alone, but it, like financial, it would financially make no sense for there to be an outright war between Russia and the United States. The same way that I say about China and the United
Precisely.
States. But what I'm saying is that all lines up if we are still talking about a rational actor, right? And not a rational actor in the sense that Putin is ignorant like Trump. I just think like, yo, it's like we're dealing with a motherfucker.
I think he's emotional like Trump,
No.
but much more informed.
But yes,
Absolutely.
but what I'm saying is like,
You know, so that's
what I'm
that's kind
saying-
of
listen.
more dangerous in a
He's
sense.
he's a former
and much
operative.
more
Exactly.
calculated.
No,
he's a
so
former
I
operative.
No,
He knows-
I'm saying,
he knows
I'm
his
saying
shit.
it's
You have to
much-
think
I'm
about
saying it's-
that.
I'm saying
You
it's
know,
much
that's
more
not
dangerous.
what
Listen,
people
I'm saying
are
it's much more.
talking about.
I'm saying it's much more dangerous. Again, I'm not trying to get stuck on the Trump analogy because
Not
he's
Trump, but
anything
he's like
critically-
Napoleon or any of these other
No.
individuals.
Okay, so
that
we've
have some type of Kobe Bryant mindset
we've read about
towards-
Napoleon, yes, but I'm saying like I think even Kobe Bryant would be a better analogy. But I'm simply saying right now, it's like, bro, it's like you have a motherfucker who's not stupid.
like an imperial.
You have somebody who is smart, who has been in power for a long time.
Truly.
But as we know, power corrupts all. I do also think like no man's God, bro. Like not everybody has everything fucking calculated. Not everybody has thought everything through. I think possibly the fact that this man is so goat mindseted, quote unquote, that he's not, before he did this, he wasn't listening to motherfuckers. Because motherfuckers probably would have told him, this move doesn't make sense financially, my guy.
Right.
Nigga was like, I hear what you're saying, but we gonna do this anyway.
He thought he could do it in 2 to 3 days.
I
That's
think
the
he.
problem. That's the problem.
and
Precisely.
And I think
he's an imperial.
which is what we already see
leader.
when you use your trump card, which is let me ready nuclear forces, which to me is like, dog, like you don't go anywhere higher than that. So it's like,
No, there's higher to go when you say ready
do you-
forces.
I mean,
you can go
we
higher.
have to
Like,
remember,
like
like,
what? Like
you
what?
can say, oh, you can continue the rhetoric. Like, oh, we're
Shoot
locked
a
and loaded
missile,
now.
yeah.
shoot a missile into
We're-
the
I mean,
band.
we're locked and loaded
what
now.
we did to Iraq?
Oh, I just armed North Korea.
Iraq,
Do you remember the
Iraq
first
wasn't a
days
nuclear
of
state.
Iraq?
You can't. Iraq
Do you
wasn't a
remember
nuclear
the
state.
first days of Iraq, though? How bad it was? Think about remember the footage.
I was in the first grade.
Yeah, he's a little young.
Yeah, I'm young.
He's a little young.
Yeah.
You should, but we should watch I remember
Yeah,
watching
I'm
the
good.
footage
I'm good.
and remembering.
It was aggressive.
Damn, it was very, very aggressive.
So
Imperial power, and
what
we
you're
did
saying-
that shit for
so
oil.
Wait, I think I might be getting what you're saying.
I'm sorry.
So you're thinking this isn't necessarily going to be a quick conflict. You're saying this is going to be prolonged.
Precisely. I think this is going to
But-
be our new. So we're
How do you
we're
wait,
exiting out of
wait.
Afghanistan, and the next shit popping is Ukraine and this new pool of natural resources, and it's not the United States doing it; it's another imperial power.
He could be playing the Bush card. You're right. Like create a threat. Go in there for resources.
He was like, this was technically already ours. It was a part of the USSR, whatever other rhetoric, and he's about to go control something.
So here's what I'll say though.
Unfortunately,
Here's what I'll say. Though.
Fortunately,
The difference between Iraq and Ukraine is that while Bush did go into Iraq for reasons that did not have to do with fucking terror, he had an alibi in the 2001 9/11 attacks that allowed the rest of
that
the
was
world.
supposed to be Osama bin Laden.
Yeah,
and remember, and he was in Afghanistan, and they said that.
But
that's,
what I'm saying,
remember?
But listen.
I mean, you were in the first grade.
What I'm saying is this though. Bush had that alibi to do his wars. I'm not saying the alibi was correct, but I'm saying it allowed the rest of the world to just kind of be like,
yeah,
okay.
He had Congress was on board.
No, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody was on board with Bush.
With Ukraine, this is literally Vladimir Putin doing that, I guess, but with no 9/11. Literally his own, like, there wasn't national protest in the street where the government was having to jail thousands of people in America over the Iraq and Afghanistan war. We eventually got to a point where we're like, yo, like, the conversation is now normalized of like, yo, that wasn't the correct thing to do. Right. But Vladimir Putin has done something where it's like, no, we've got 5 days where like we're already at the precipice of this conversation. Like, yo, nigga, like this isn't. You can't do this. So the reason we're saying that we can't do this is because it's a European. It's in the European scope, and it's predominantly white people. Irregardless, I gotta go off on this one though. We're living in this like paradigm where the same brutalization that happens in the Middle East can't happen in the white world, and an imperial dictator, an imperial fucking psychopath, Putin, just showed you in Ukraine. So now we're seeing this thing where it's like your whiteness is no longer a shield to capitalism. When money is calling, money is calling. I mean, in fact, white people invented imperialism, though. We know that through history, dog. And unfortunately, Ukraine is fucking suffering. Unfortunately, this is taking place. This needs to immediately stop. We pray for Ukraine. But what we're seeing is the same thing that happened in Iraq, that's happening in Palestine, that's happening in quote-unquote shithole countries, the shit that they did in Ghana, the shit that they did in Ethiopia and Africa to rape and pillage and harvest natural resources. They found some in a white world, you know, in Europe. Right. You know, and now in the Eastern Bloc. No, you know? So, listen, I agree. And for that, I think is a separate discussion to have on how do we fix imperialism in a way, you know? Now, we don't have the power for it. I would say one of the ways that you could probably make a big dent in that from a individual standpoint is know what you're voting for. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to move towards more renewable energy sources, you wouldn't need to go to these countries to find natural gas and oil. But that's a conversation for a different day. Yeah. Right now, we're focusing on Ukraine because they get our witness of the day. I think everybody deserves witness. You know what I'm saying? Especially when tragedies happen. Absolutely. And all I'm saying is I think Putin miscalculated. I think because he miscalculated, and for the first time in his political career, he is truly at like an adjustment period where he's like lost for guidance. And this is a nigga that don't got guidance, and it's scary because now we're moving towards, all right, are we going to be rational about it, or are we going to get irrational?
I mean, I hope you're absolutely right, that this is a miscalculation and a misstep on his part, because if you look at Putin's career politically, he's gotten everything that he's planned for, and this is something that he's worked towards. I think so. Hopefully, he's fucked up this time.
When you fucked up the economy of your country, where literally, like this would literally be like, bro.
But just remember, he's a man that's brought Russia from the bottom, though.
And he's another thing that we have to think about is our economy was fucking shit not too long ago with, our banking system. Ironically, we had to bail out banks.
We've had to bail out the auto industry. Mm-hmm. We've experienced depressions
due to capitalism.
And unfettered capitalism. But at the time, we weren't also waging a war.
We were in Iraq during that.
We
were waging war. We were waging war in Iraq.
Not in a sovereign nation that we didn't have a lie to say we were retaliating towards. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying you're looking at it from a
Putin's created a lie, but it's a flimsy lie.
It's a very flimsy.
But the lie is much less flimsy than the lie they had from the Bush fucking years.
Absolutely.
And that's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I'm saying it's a different kind of pressure.
They said they had weapons of mass destruction.
They said they had weapons of mass destruction, but they literally just had one of the worst terrorist attacks that have ever fucking happened in the country, and it was on fucking video and shit. At a time when,
but that wasn't that was supposed to be. Again, Osama bin Laden, and that was in Afghanistan.
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying at the time, bro, you had a populace that was able and willing to believe whatever the fuck. Right now, Putin does not. He literally invaded the country, and from day one, you had the majority of Russians like, yo, you tripping, my nigga, what's good? You got the whole country going, you trip.
I agree, but at the same time,
the whole world going, you tripping, my nigga. Like, it's like, we can't do anything to fix the past, but we can correct the future. So it's
well, we do have to keep in mind, a lot of Americans, when we went into the Iraq War, were also very anti-war, and it still happened.
No,
and
I agree.
That is the cynical look that we have to take towards this, is that, again, we're dealing with, some militarized asshole who wants to take some natural resource. And,
war sucks all the time. But to bring witness to one of the aspects of this war that I feel like has been overlooked by most major media audiences, I've just now seen it pop up on some of my favorite YouTubers' pages, Abba and Preach, but I would say it's the damn near dereliction of duty of the Ukrainian government to allow safe access and transport of refugees outside of the country, especially when they're like, yo, women and children go first, let's go. So again, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, please go look at the podcast page. We've been posting links, we've been posting different videos all week. Every time we get something, we're posting it, but it's different videotaped interactions between different black subgroups in Ukraine, whether they're Nigerians, Ghanaians, whether they're students, whether they're women, children, just various people that would be considered black in this country are being denied access onto trains, buses that are leaving Ukraine for their neighboring nations, and it's heartbreaking, man. It's literally one of those reminders that black faces are treated poorly across the globe, and now we can sit here and say we don't know why, but again, I just want to give witness again that we are giving resources on the podcast page that you can donate money to. We are giving witness again. You have celebrities. I saw Young Thug talking about who can I, get in contact with, or let's get our people home or whatever. Exactly. Because again, I think as African Americans, we have a very golden opportunity where we're one side of the equation when it comes to unity as a race for black people, but we have the easiest opportunity to be accepting of all black people across all cultures, because some look at it as a tragedy, which it is, that we have been robbed of our culture, of our heritage, of our identities, but that's just an opportunity to amass a new one, you know what I'm saying? And that's what black people have done, and it permeates the entire world. But with that being the case, bro, it's I don't know what I would do in such a situation, bro, because I just get angry watching that shit, bro. You're gonna sit here and tell me that women and children go first, and then you're gonna stare at my mother, my sister, my friend, my lover, and be like, she can't get on the train when I'm about to fucking go fight for this shit, bro, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that it's very telling of just society in general that even during a major conflict, during a major humanitarian crisis, racism can still somehow show up to the party. You know, I think that's.
Somebody said that with COVID, because basically there was a doctor on live TV, and he was being asked the question of what do you think would need to happen for racism to be ended? You know, would it be like an alien attack? And the doctor was like, I mean, we've seen that. It was COVID. You know, it was something that shut the whole world down. It was something that we all were equally fighting against, and yet in that time, prejudice and racism still permeated. You know, and it's a problem, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, my own idea of what black people should be doing at this period in time just remains the same. Like on the earlier podcast.
What do you mean?
Like when it comes to like being a black person in America and you're seeing these types of videos.
In this world. Yeah. Oh, in America. Yeah.
Well, in America, because again, like going back to what I said before, it's like I can only speak from my experience. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I'm not in Ukraine. I'm not in a neighboring country. You know, I'm not in power. I don't have a lot of income to like start my own, to fly a fucking private jet over there myself and be like, hey, let's get it, Wakanda, my niggas, let's come on.
Right.
You know? But what I can do is, A, take care of me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things that like I've noticed going around, and not noticed going around, but it's something we talk about all the time, the effects of stress on black people and how it has worse health outcomes for us over a general demographic. And like, why is that? And it's because of shit like this. Like, it's like, not only is there a war in Ukraine going on, but then the separate or the additional topic on topic that is the gross racism happening to black Ukrainians in wartime, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's a double expander, you know?
Right.
So first and foremost, it's always like, take care of you, my nigga. Like, do what you gotta do to make sure you're good. Then it's take care of like your circle, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you give voice to your fellow black man or black sister like that's around you, and you check up on them. Like, you good? Like, what you feel about this?
Yeah.
Like, doing what we're doing. All right, we back. So I said first was taking care of yourself. Second was taking care of the people around you, and then third, it's like, and also in that taking care of yourself, right? Like we talk about like not only being not passionate, but like doing the things that set your inner child on fire, but also in your professional side, you gotta take care of your deals, bro. Like I'm a big proponent of, nigga, you gotta be able to pay your bills, figure your shit out before you want to start, you know, flying and all that shit, right?
Right.
But thirdly, it's like once you get those two levels of like life just taken care of, then you can get to the next part, right? Like which is the activism piece. Like if you feel strong enough to go out and march, cool. If you feel strong enough to go out and donate, cool. If you feel strong enough to go out and run for office, cool. If you feel strong enough to go and create a business in your community, cool. If you go out, it's like there's levels to it, but each level is important. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think one of the a vital key as well is to educate yourself. You know, educate and inform yourself. And then from there, you're able to organize with people, you know, so it doesn't end up being some type of thing that you're doing that ends up on some Putin type shit, you know, some grandiose thought. You know, I think communication is key, you know.
And it's crazy too, because when you say educate yourself, I put that in that first experience. And I think that's why I feel like passion and professional is important, because you see that even in schooling, right? You see schooling that's supposed to push your professional side, whether you're in geometry, algebra, you know, biology, chemistry, technology, like CSI, computer information systems, shit like that, like STEM shit. That's the professional side. But then you have the passion side, the art, the history, the literature, the various things in life that like you need to be a whole person. Because if you just have that STEM side, you know, you risk being like a Putin, bro, because you look at everything so ones and twos, and that's not what life is. Like, you need to read the material that's going to give you a worldly perspective and make you get out of this shell of just like me, and what I think and my perspective is everything, or that any of us haven't figured out, bro. Nah, that's just deep. But yeah, I always mix up the points, or not mix up the points, but I mix up the number of shit I got. Right now, that's all I got for y'all guys, bro. Take care of yourself, take care of your people, and then move on to the next step. We're gonna have some links for y'all to donate. Keep giving witness. This is why voting's important, because imagine we were at a time right now where we had somebody as inflammatory as Trump at the mic, and I'm not saying that literally what Trump would do would be one way or the other, but just think about how much stress you have right now. And instead of I have to go search for what Joe Biden said on it, I just on Twitter to this nigga saying, Putin is a real man.
Right.
But we would like for him to actually just tone it down a little, maybe he gets half the country, maybe they get half. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple situation.
Good people on both sides.
Just fucking leave.
Yeah. So
but
listen, this is why it pays sometimes to have people who look at this as a profession when it comes to international relations. But then also you need that passionate side when it comes from just being a human being and realizing that as Phil said, this is the first little bit of evidence of imperialism on a white culture that we as a 21st century collective have seen. But this shit's been going on in black and brown countries for decades, centuries now, bro. What are we doing? So, man. So again, I'm gonna post the fucking resources, and I'm also gonna post that video that kind of has 30 minutes of the entire Ukraine-Russian conflict. Because again, this is a conflict. This is not a versus. Because come on, man. But shout out to Zelensky and his fucking band of goddamn war heroes. Niggas are killing it. We're gonna get into a music break though, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna do a quick little update on some pop culture shit, run through it, because we're already at an hour 11 minutes here, and then we'll get into a content of the week. Well, actually, no, a health topic, then content of the week, and then we'll get out of here. But now I can finally say I'm a fan. So we're gonna play some Yeat on the podcast this fucking episode, and my favorite song so far is off his new album. It's called On the Line, and this is again Yeat. But
never heard.
Yeah, how did he does it? Stuck in them these fields, yeah, cause I love it. 45 seconds, you win it, you off, who does it? Yeah, and it's way too far, gonna save that shit, I won't touch it. Begging for shot, little brick, kick back like buckets. Snapping the face in my circle like Kit Kat does it. I can take a little bitch if I want to, yeah, but I doesn't. I just chat out that GC5, took it straight out that shot, take it back to my house. They asked how the hell I make money, I couldn't even tell them cause I don't know how. Turn at the beat till it blazing, yeah, turn at the beat till it blown. You a 2-4 gun, couldn't say that shit, so per day, yeah, on the coach. I'm a big dog, yeah, you a mouse. Can't even rock with it, you not a boss. I done invented this shit on my soul. And I go rock it at every show. You know my twin, you know my bro. Everywhere I go, I'm taking my pole. Yeah, we drippin'. It's syrup, that's side, no trippin'. Yeah, sippin' on syrup out there. Could hold it and no pissin'. He done put everything on the line. On the kid, now I end up missing. When you got a lot of money coming in, then you better start to be tipping. Yeah, how did he does it? Stuck in them these fields, yeah, cause I love it. 45 seconds, you win it, you off, who does it? Yeah, and it's way too far, gonna save that shit, I won't touch it. Begging for shot, little brick, kick back like buckets. Snapping the face in my circle like Kit Kat does it. I can take a little bitch if I want to, yeah, but I doesn't. I just chat out that GC5, took it straight out that shot, take it back to my house. They asked how the hell I make money, I couldn't even tell them cause I don't know how. Turn at the beat till it blazing, yeah, turn at the beat till it blown. You a 2-4 gun, couldn't say that shit, so per day, yeah, on the coach. I'm a big dog, yeah, you a mouse. Can't even rock with it, you not a boss. I done invented this shit on my soul. And I go rock it at every show.
All right, yeah. So that was Yeat's "All In." No, what the fuck was that song called? "On the Line." My bad. Yeat, "On the Line." Again, new artist, man. I don't know much about him. I was just hearing about him from different West Coast podcasts, like the No Jumper podcast. I like the beats. You know, I'm not too sure about the lyrics just yet. I'm still easing myself in, but again, like, I'm more of a melody guy, so I'm not really like too pressed if what you're saying don't got shit to say. If it's bullying rap, if it's bitch rap, if it's SoundCloud rap, I'm here for it. Beats are cool. But yeah, so we're gonna get into a few hot topics real quick, and then we're gonna get into our health topic, and then content of the week. We'll get you out of here. So let's say 15 minutes, get this all done. No, probably more than that. Who knows? But real quick, did y'all see any updates in the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion?
There was a couple of tweets back and forth between Meg, Tory, and academics, right?
Yes.
Wow.
So if you didn't know, if you were focusing on more important things, basically,
yes.
Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez with the pretrial. Apparently, during the pretrial, academics stated that there was no evidence of DNA from Tory Lanez found in the gun. Some attorney that I think is either Meg Thee Stallion's or some attorney that was in the audience was like, that's not exactly what they said.
Yeah.
And then she had to recant her statement because technically what they said was there was an inconsequential amount of evidence, or it was what I wrote it down. I wrote down the word exactly. Inconclusive amount of evidence on the gun. And you know, as most of us TV watching citizens know, that inconclusive means you ain't got if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Facts.
You know, and for those of you who are trying to already call me a hypocrite because I sound excited, no, that's not the case. What I will say is this, man.
Wait, so he's not the shooter?
We still don't know. So basically, they went to pretrial.
They tried to go to pretrial.
They tried to go to pretrial.
Yeah.
The evidence was inconclusive on the gun. I don't know what happened from there.
They pushed pretrial forward.
But now they got the trial postponed further till April.
Not even the main trial. The pretrial is postponed. Yeah, like this is gonna.
So
how long has this been now? Like a year?
Yeah, it's been a while.
2 years?
But what I'll say is this: I don't know why
Megan Thee Stallion deserves justice.
I agree, but I don't know why. That, by the way, that you haven't been on the pod those episodes. But
that's the title.
That is. No. The title's going to be "Pray for Ukraine." I think that's going to be the title.
Oh, yeah. Right. But that would have been the title had it been for the Ukraine thing.
You know, we're going to post next time. In hindsight, but we can put her as the picture. No, I'm kidding. So,
Black women
ain't nothing wrong with that.
But the stance of the podcast, I want to say from the overwhelming majority of the members, is Tory Lanez shot her, bro, or like at least resulted in her getting shot. And I still think there's probably a good chance that he shot her.
I think so.
I think he shot her. Yeah. So, but all that to say.
But do you know?
Or shot at her. Let's say that.
Do you know of? Because I know of women who feel like this is all farce on Meg Thee Stallion's part.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I'm always surprised.
Bro.
Has Tory Lanez always been saying, I didn't shoot at Meg?
He was pretty quiet for a while.
He was quiet for a while.
Like not saying anything.
After the academic stuff came out,
then he started
tripping. I just want to say, I still don't understand why, in his heart of hearts, academics wanted to be the one who broke this news. You know?
Yeah, I don't know what.
Because it was quiet and academic, like, you know, it's like
we're CNN.
You know, it's like nigga news. It's like, bro. But either way, Meg Thee Stallion came out and said that's false too, and she released some tweets. Okay. And the tweets basically, in a nutshell, had Tory Lanez apologizing. What for? We don't know. But Meg Thee Stallion basically titled the caption of the exposed text messages as, "See? What the fuck you apologizing for? That nigga shot me. Woo-de-woo-de-woo. Case closed," right? Oh my God. Now you have some, again, I'm just playing devil's
Tory
advocate.
alleged why he apologized though.
Yeah. Tory Lanez came out and said, I was apologizing because I gave good dick to two best friends, and we know that he verbatim tweeted this.
Yeah,
Look, the way his eyes lit out, bro. And it's so crazy because I want to play devil's advocate for a second.
Wait, what did he say?
He literally said like, "Good dick got in the way of a good friendship."
Yeah, he was basically fucking both her and her best friend.
Yeah. So
said that's what he was apologizing for.
Oh, you probably I don't follow this. Basically, one of the highlights of the story was that Meg Thee Stallion and the friend that was in the car were no longer fucking with each other, and then apparently the shawty who was in the car was fucking with Tory Lanez prior to Meg fucking with her, and Meg took Tory from her. And listen, it seems like I'm in the gossip, but it's like
on the tea.
I've been listening to a lot of shit, but basically the friend was like, apparently. Allegedly, Meg does this shit. Like, she be taking my niggas, basically. So, Tory's capitalizing on that narrative and shit, bruh. All I'm saying, again, to play devil's advocate from the manosphere, their corner is like, it's taking too long. What's going on? My nigga's innocent, inconclusive, woo. And then they all said, but then somebody on the Joe Budden podcast said something that was key. Have you ever known a nigga to text somebody after shooting them?
Facts.
Or have you ever known somebody like that?
Right.
And somebody else said, that would be fucking crazy. And all I'm saying is this. At this point, I pray that we either don't find out conclusively or that nigga didn't do it, because this is sick, bro. Like, if you did shoot shawty and then you're online fucking with her, bro, it's like, yo, like, this is some Putin level shit.
Yo, it's a little suspicious how quiet he was.
These niggas are not pushing P, bro.
It's just suspicious how quiet he was prior to this non-conclusive DNA evidence. I mean, this motherfucker wasn't talking at all.
What some people say is that it's not suspicious in a sense because when it's early on, and regardless if you're innocent or not, it's the court system, so you don't know how it's going to go, and you're keeping options. Now that it's seeming like apparently that you're getting off, maybe you're feeling a little cocky.
Shooting someone is one of those things that either you did it or you did. I mean, you did it or you didn't. Like, it's.
But what I'm saying is, winning the case for shooting somebody is not black or white, apparently. And what I think Tory Lanez needs to be careful about is counting his chickens before they come to fucking nest, bro. Like, bro.
Why would you respond to a person after they take you to court like that? I would just block you on the internet.
Exactly. No, that's the truth too.
Wouldn't that be?
Yeah, why did he text her at all?
Listen. Rational actor versus irrational actor, bro. This nigga Tory Lanez, before this shit happened, was on top of the world as a short man. And I'm not saying like average height me. I'm talking short, bro. I'm talking this nigga went through life 5'3", 5'4". Like, yeah, he might get a bitch here and there, but there is niggas that are just playing this nigga too. I'm talking on top of the world, bro.
Fucking Meg Thee Stallion.
Meg Thee Stallion, bro.
Sheesh.
And not fucking her like, yo, she's my queen. Fucking her like, it's just one of my. That's just something I want.
Yeah, in fact, I fucking best friend.
This nigga, this nigga.
Yeah.
I don't think this nigga's a rational actor, bro. I think this nigga's fucking lost it, bro. This nigga possibly could have lost it. I think there is still overwhelming correlational evidence to seem that he shot her. I will apologize and recant my statement if it comes out he didn't, but it's still, to me, as a critically thinking human being, looks like that nigga shot her.
I think that Megan Thee Stallion deserves justice, but I didn't know that Tory Lanez was fucking her and her friend.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he was fucking the friend. I don't even know if he's really fucking Megan, but I'm pretty sure. Like, it's like, oh no,
he was.
I think it's pretty established.
Did she say that?
It's established.
Did she say it?
Did she say they were fucking?
Did he say it? Well, he said it.
I feel like they were fucking.
Me too.
Like I mean, now he's into short. Now he's into tall women. That whole line. That's about him.
I don't know, bro. I just think like that's one of the niggas off the Joe Budden podcast said, bro. The whole shit's just a bad look for niggas,
It's
bro.
terrible.
This is a
I
bad
don't
look for
like this.
niggas, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's a bad look.
why does this keep happening to our celebrities, bro? Like, why can't fucking Tim McGraw shoot his wife or something? Like, I'm just kidding.
Right now.
But I mean, you don't see that shit.
I mean, sometimes
Like all that shit with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, and not one person, nobody wanted to throw hands. I know Jennifer Aniston and all those Tybo classes wanted to fuck
You know
up
what?
Angelina Jolie.
Hey, let's be honest though. Those women could have thrown hands. He just didn't file a report or talk about it. Like
Brad Pitt a real
Jolie.
nigga.
Jolie probably threw hands on him. She was crazy.
Brad Pitt a real nigga.
But he probably didn't file a report.
He probably didn't file a report. Still got yopped up that night.
Yeah, I mean,
smoked some weed, chilling on his balcony.
oh yeah.
Took some calls from his agent. Hey, I'm in a pretty big part. I got a lot of money to spend.
just have to think about life.
I mean, I mean, to be honest, like, if you were with someone, you know, I don't know, for a year and like she went crazy because she saw some shit on your phone and started like putting her hands on you, would you call the police or would you just be like, get out of my house? You know, knowing what police can bring and what's going to criminal justice.
But no, pause. There's a third option because niggas ain't doing either of those options. Niggas are just like, you being crazy. Yo, why you wildin'? Yo, wait till she calm down. Yo.
That's a third option?
No, because you know what happens after the bitch wild and start hitting you and shit.
Some niggas gonna hit back.
Whoa.
Some niggas, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what you're talking. There's many options.
I'm saying.
And I didn't ask that question because I know none of us here are gonna do that.
Relationships with a woman,
right,
where you aren't hitting the woman back. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all cycles of domestic abuse. It's the abuse, then it's the I'm sorry, baby, I love you.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
But I'm saying, like,
dude, kick that bitch out your house, bro, or call 911. But please do not fucking roundhouse kick this bitch to the face. You think nigga said, yeah, but you can hit her back.
No, I didn't say you could. I said some niggas would. That's what I said. But I didn't add that as one of my options. I was asking about specifically.
So you could curb stomp that Karen, bro.
I was asking specifically about calling the police on a woman. Like, that's something that I've been through. Like,
I could never do that. Have you ever called the police on a woman?
No, I've never called police on anybody. Actually,
listen. There's one time I've called the police. I'm gonna be honest. You called the police. Might have been a part of the picture, and it might have been called on myself. I thought I was dying.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Never have I been sober and been like, I need the police. No, every interaction with the police, it has literally been, please go away. Please go away. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I've heard of I've heard of shawties that
the time at the New Year's Eve party, and it was a New Year's Halloween party twice.
Halloween party?
Any fucking college party we had. You know the Halloween party when the police showed up twice? Nigga was looking sad as fuck. Like, what y'all doing? Nigga, we going up, bro. Fuck out of here. What you mean? Walks away, bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fun.
Oh, it's fun. Fuck. Okay, yeah. But either way, so I think none of the new information has changed the opinion of the podcast, is what I'm hearing. All right.
Not yet.
On to the next one. All right. Here's a quick question I actually had for you, Phil. And I was excited you were coming back on the pod tonight because did Donda 2 really release 2/22/22?
I don't have a STEM player, so I can't say yes or no.
Okay. All right. That's all I want. I just, because you were pretty adamant that it was coming out.
Has it come out?
It's come. I guess for what I've heard from the people who've heard it, it's cool.
So the album's out
on the STEM player. It's out, but when they say the album's out, it sounds, to what I've heard, unfinished. Like, it has good concepts, but there are plenty of songs where you can tell that, this verse where Kanye is going,
there's going to be a Donda 2 Deluxe 2.
No, there's going to be like a Donda 2 release on streaming platforms. Probably like in April or May or like whatever.
I see.
What I'm saying is like...
Did you watch the performance?
I did not, because I was at work.
Towards the end, it got pretty bad because
I heard
of the sound.
Did you hear? Okay.
Discrepancy.
He fired everybody on his sound team.
Wow.
That is what you're supposed to do at that point. Yeah. Those types of things don't happen.
Yeah.
those types of things don't happen, and unfortunately, that is what you have to do.
And it's not just those sorts
unfortunately,
of things. Those sorts of things don't happen, but those sorts of things don't happen.
Some things should never fucking happen. I don't know who said that, but that is a quote.
Kanye Omari West. Your sound does not fuck up. This is a man.
Somebody sabotaged that man.
Listen,
Fabio and Cardi were there, bro.
Think about it. You had one of the rarest appearances, because not only is Fabio and Cardi there, but Cardi's there in full lucha libre face paint and fucking water on a stage we haven't seen.
It was amazing.
Since Kendrick and Beyonce doing Freedom. This nigga fucking put a sun and a moon in the fucking stadium.
The lighting was perfect.
So all that to say, it's like, this isn't something that was done over. So this is what I'll give you till the album was supposed to drop today, or that day. That was at least a month of preparation. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like maybe
If not
somebody, maybe it was sabotaged. Because could you imagine if Fabio Foreign? I don't know. Yeah. I'm not here for conspiracy theories, but could you imagine?
What do you mean? Maybe it was sabotage. I'm not here to play conspiracies.
Lit the fuse,
right?
And just leave it.
I do that shit. I gotta light this flame, but
it flicked. But could you imagine if Fabio Foreign would have had a perfect performance at that show with Alicia Keys and Cardi and the lighting? I mean
fuck that.
That experience.
If Kanye would have had the perfect performance and album drop, the whole narrative would have changed.
It would have changed.
Yeah. The whole narrative would have changed.
Truly.
This fuck up has everybody who like wanted to be like, oh, you see this nigga's crazy again with the fucking Kim shit.
You see,
they're looking at him going, even he's failing on the
failed.
music. No, not even he failed. This is again Kanye Omari West. What do we all say? What do I say? Yeah, the nigga's crazy, but he's a musical genius.
Yeah.
He just failed, quote unquote, on his platform in his arena. Like, this is, in all intents and purposes, Kanye, this is where you do magic. This is where you're God. And guess what? You just failed. And like, so it's like, that's where like I look at you and I say that does sound crazy, because if you were like, so here's the thing, I didn't watch the performance, but I saw stills, I saw little snippets, and that's the thing too. Like, I want to watch the performance. This is from the guy who like was able to watch the first 25 minutes of The Life of Pablo drop, and then had to go to fucking BioLife to get plasma because I was a fucking bum in college, yes, and I donated plasma so I didn't have a job. Whatever. Screw you, bitches.
That's your life.
Either way, like, restarted the concert when I got the BioLife plasma shit and watched it all the way through type shit. Like, it's like, I would have watched that and I want to watch it, but all that to say, when he's doing Off the Grid with Cardi, I'm assuming that's what off the Grid was, he looked so fucking mad, bro.
He was very upset.
And you can even see Cardi come up and try to like, come on, bro. Like,
because they were trying their best, but honestly, the sound was just fucked. And for what reason?
Because I heard the beginning wasn't bad. It wasn't like...
It was beautiful. I watched it. And again, as an individual that is a big fan of the music and the work that he has created over his career and all of the production work. I mean, that's all a part of his career as well too.
Yeah.
But to watch him fail is a very interesting thing, and that leaves him a lot of room to improve. You know,
I think
we constantly look at failure because we live in like a society where everything is talked about on social media, and there's a lot of an echo chamber. We don't get to we talk about the wrong things, or we don't focus on getting past a failure or a fuck up. Everybody fucks up. Sound fucks up at shows, you know, but because it's Kanye West, this somehow means that he is less than, or this project wasn't beautiful, or the rest of the thought wasn't beautiful. I mean,
to me, I think this had been Kanye West a year ago, it would be a story, but it wouldn't be as, for Kanye fans, as heartbreaking of a story as it is right now. Because it seems like at a time when like this nigga has had so many things after like surviving a battle. You know, he's had so many things. His second resurgence of a battle with PR, the chinks in his armor, to now be in like his nuke, like, you know, his Excalibur, his finishing move, like it fell flat because of shit out of his. It didn't fall flat. Fell flat out of his control.
There was a sour note. There was a sour note that was out of his control, and what we do have to realize is that he couldn't do anything about that. So what is going to happen next is the question. You should anticipate where he does the right thing.
This is why. No. Listen, as a fan, I'm already waiting for what comes next. I'm the one out here trying to say, let's go to fucking Coachella and see this nigga perform on the last fucking day.
You did say that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be iconic. But to harp on it for one other second is what I'm saying is like, yo, this is also a chink in the armor in the sense that
it's not a chink in the armor.
Wait, hold up. Listen, hear me out.
Pressure builds diamonds.
Yes, but hear me out.
You know,
yes. Diamonds are forever. Come on, Kanye West, let's get it. But what I'm
saying, he made the beat too.
But this is what I'm saying. It's just, he released this on his stem player on his own outside of streaming services after Apple Music released that they didn't do the deal with him because of this, right? Mm-hmm. So again, as a fan, like, you're rooting for this nigga because again, like, this nigga is basically saying, fuck that, I'm putting on my back type shit. And then for this to be the display, it just like, it sucks. Because again, I'm the fan who's saying, nah, again, we all make mistakes. That's fucking Kanye West. I can't wait to see what he does next. But everybody who already does not like this nigga, because literally last week it was, what the fuck is this nigga doing to Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson? This nigga is fucking wilding. To, okay, no, I mean, he's in his arena again. To, bro, I know everybody praying on his down. I know Kris Jr. is just in her fucking bedroom and she's just like, I fuck with that nigga, but I told his ass. You know what I'm saying?
You see what they had to do? They had to. He fired everybody on the sound team.
No, I mean, but like as a professional,
honestly, it's
that was your night.
At that point, you know, you cannot fault him. The only thing that he could have done was stop the concert. And do you know what people would have said if he stopped the concert? He was egotistical. He was a perfectionist. Mm-hmm. He stormed off of the stage. He was angry. They would have tried to do some type of thing that would have spun it in a narrative that was not positive as well. He quit.
Was that
so? At least he went through with it. At least they kept going.
Was that the only bad part of the?
That was the only bad thing that
the other bad part was that they started 2 hours late.
No. What happened was there was a heartbeat, and if you have a life, if you got a fucking life, you know what I was doing during that
Shotty had a cousin who Shotty had a cousin that went to the show.
Oh shit!
The shit started 2 hours late. Like it's like.
So what did they do? What did they do during that point? Because I had a friend that also went. Mm-hmm. I didn't ask them how the concert was because, you know, I got other stuff going on. Mm-hmm. And after seeing that, you know, I wasn't very, very interested. There's other things in life, you know. But what did they do while they were waiting?
I don't know. I'm sure it's more of like you have a general concert going experience where the concerts never start on time. You know, you're always walking in a little late. There's very few concerts that like start.
Have you ever been to a Lauryn Hill concert?
Listen, that's not.
And they're talking about his.
I wish.
It was 2 hours.
I wish.
That is a good example.
Lauryn Hill has been to more concerts not on time than on time, and it's not even a close margin. Like,
I agree, but that's
like if
what
you were
I'm
looking
saying.
at it,
So
like
we
blood pressure
can't.
numbers, you'd be like, holy fuck.
We can't keep surmounting these. Yeah, I know that it started 2 hours late because I was watching the stream, but technically I was chilling, reading a book.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this: it's not the fact that I don't understand it. What I'm saying is I'm a specific type of consumer, right? Who, for the sake of the artistry and the fact that I got nothing else to do, I don't care. But like, imagine if like you're a different type of consumer, which is what a lot of consumers are, and it's like, yo, we had a babysitter for this. Or
no, you have a baby. If you go to a Kanye West concert,
bro, what I'm saying is, from a professional standpoint, if you say, yo, a show starts at this time,
would you say that's a Lauryn Hill?
But what I'm saying is, that's not a good example in the sense of, oh my God.
It's a good example.
No, wait, what is the example though?
The example is, I have gone to Wu-Tang Clan shows that have started 3 hours late.
Saying they do this shit makes it okay is not okay. What I'm saying,
that's not what I'm saying. It is not professional.
That's all I'm saying.
But maybe they were trying to fix the sound that entire time, you know?
Well, then there needs to be an announcement.
Maybe there weren't enough The thing that I was thinking about with the set, because it was all water, so there aren't facing PAs. If you've ever played inside of a venue, there are no PAs for you to hear what's happening on in your headphones, and because it's really loud in the concert venue, so you can't hear everything in area like the house.
My bad.
Oh, go ahead.
Keep going. Some area of the house.
I was saying that that vision was so broad, and the fact that there weren't PAs, or there weren't visible PAs that the artists could hear their music playing, shows that there was some type of oversight. I'm not sure if there actually were.
All right, I don't mean to cut you off,
yeah,
but we run out of battery in the laptop. We got to keep it going. But what I'll say is this. I hear what you're saying, but to me, that's all coming from a consumer who's educated on different levels of not just artistry, but production, right?
But so I think that's the thing about consumerism. We should refocus our perspective when it comes to things. You have to understand.
No. It's not we should refocus. If you as a
consumer, you should understand the way that things work to a certain degree.
Every concert have you been to has the artist been late? There's been plenty of concerts I've been to that the artist isn't late. But there's been plenty of concerts I've been to that the artist is late simply because
that's the thing that we were discussing.
And then also,
what if there was a sound issue?
Somebody on a much smaller scale. Like,
Did you see the concert?
No, but what I'm telling you is this. Listen.
Okay.
What I'm telling you is this. Also, as a person who's put on productions of different scales, much smaller scales, I understand the idea of putting out a time where it comes out, that you have difficulties, and so on and so forth. Now, you watch the stream. I don't know if anybody came out on the actual stage and said, hey, we're experiencing this. Give us some more time, we'll do it. I've never been to a show where they've done that. It's literally, because again, it's something, in my opinion.
Do you think that it would have been allowed?
What do you mean?
If somebody came on stage and was like, hey, there's a sound issue, we have to stop the concert.
No.
What if they could never rectify?
What I'm saying is, the 2 hours you were waiting, I'm not saying whatever. You're saying there's multiple reasons why.
I'm saying, what if the sound never got rectified?
What I'm saying is, you're telling me all the reasons why you think it was taking 2 hours. What I'm saying is, one of the complaints could be, yo, they didn't start for 2 hours. Now, I wasn't there, so I don't know if someone came out and said, this is why it's taking 2 hours. But as a consumer, I'm telling you, if you tell me a production starts at this time, and then it does not start for 2 hours post that time, and I have no idea why, and we're just chilling, I see certain people pulling in now, woo. It's like, one of those things where, like, I've been to concerts where you pull up late, but someone hasn't started, and it's not like, yeah, it's more like, oh, sweet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like a different level of, I'm forgetting the word I'm trying to look for, but it's like, it's just a different, not a different sense of professionalism, but it's just a level of professionalism that I say is like lacking with certain artists. You know what I'm saying? And now, for whatever reason, we can accept it. I'm saying that's a perfectly good reason for it to be happening. But we do have artists like Lauryn Hill, which I think is a terrible example, because Lauryn Hill is late 6, 7, 8 hours, and when she comes on stage, it's like, y'all better be fucking glad I came. And what has happened over the pause, and like what has happened over the years, it has not only become a joke, but a known thing that like, oh, if you're going to a Lauryn Hill concert, you not only are you going to wait probably for her to get there, but she might not even show up. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, what does that do to your legacy? Because at the end of the day, like nobody, no consumer, okay, pause. No entertainer is able to keep a large consumer base when you keep disrespecting your consumer base as an entirety. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So I'm not saying that this is like a be all end all. I'm just saying, one of the things that might have probably pissed some people off is that it started 2 hours late. You know what I'm saying? Because that's conversation I was seeing online. So, and because of that conversation, like it was never like 2 hours late. They're saying sound and technical difficulties, which then if they got into the concert in the second half, they got sound and technical difficulties. The whole conversation is, what the fuck is the arena? They've been trying to, they had it fixed, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's like, what the fuck is happening with the concert? So to me, it's just like that's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with nothing you're saying. I'm just saying, like, as like a normal consumer who's not tapped in any sort of way, I'm just, Kanye's cool. I've been hearing radio songs forever. Oh, he's releasing this thing. Cool. Get there.
Where's the show?
Yeah, it's like what are we doing? Like
we're working on the sound.
It's probably a small percentage, but if you had a 2 hour wait time between that shit starting and like
you could have gotten your selfies in.
No.
You could have.
There's some grown people who probably were just like, yeah, we gotta go.
Like, you think some people left the concert?
Possibly.
You think so?
Small amount. Maybe 5.
With a 2 hour fucking person left.
Okay.
Because
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Think about it in this manner.
Those tickets were probably how expensive were those tickets?
They were probably very expensive. And then the thing that you have to think about going to a concert like that,
an experimental Kanye album, you're like a Kanye like diehard stan if you went.
You're a fan, and that was your plan for the evening was to go to a Kanye West concert.
And you're just eating that 2 hour space up. This nigga's not out here for 2 hours. He's back there doing blow and fucking whores. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I really don't know what the conclusion was of that, but we got some good content in there. So real quick, we're getting to our health topic of the week because we got 4% on this computer. So can we do it? And really, it's a topic that Phil brought up.
What's your charger, fam?
It's plugged in, but only one of the ports works. Please, it's look, we're ghetto-tastic right now, so.
We need sponsors. Sponsors.
We get people asking, like we got one of those ball trimmer people asking, I don't know if it's real or not. So I just, I gave y'all access to the instrument.
Maybe we should start shouting out the beer we're drinking on the pod and see if they'll sponsor us.
Yeah, I doubt it.
What are you drinking right now?
Sour Monkey by Victory Brewery.
Get at them.
That's in Richmond, actually, isn't it? Nope. PA.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get into our health topic. Our health topic has to do with cell phone use and how it can possibly or potentially be negative on your health, overall health. I was looking for like the opposite of beneficial. Harmful. Damn.
Oof. Yeah.
I'm not a good thesaurus.
Thesaurus.
God damn, the list was going hard today. But yeah, so I don't know. It's not something that I think we need to stay on too long. Me personally, like I was telling Phil, I've had a very interesting exposure to the dangers of technology based off of like different college courses I've been in, and those experiences led me to having less of a dependency on my phone, to naturally being a person who grew up 90s, early 2000s, so we was outside, in the woods, skating, playing with airsoft guns, fucking bikes, shit, you name it, bro. I come from a family, again, stepdad was white, we was camping, you know what I'm saying? Not having a phone is not anything foreign to me, but I will admit that as time continues to go forward, each new generation has an increased dependency on the phone, I've come to notice. So much so that I was actually talking to some homies the other day about being in this new age where, to a lot of potential suitors, like women, so if you're dating women who are under 25, so let's say 21 to 25 right now, that 21, 22, 23-year-old and I'm not even gonna give you 19, 20-year-olds, because if you're somebody my age dating 20-year-olds, like pursuing them, good luck to you, sir. I can't imagine.
I hope you go to jail.
I
guess you can't go to jail for that.
Yeah, no, that's legal. I was like, that's not no. I'm just saying those conversations would be crazy. You shouldn't be. Age of consent's 18.
There should be.
I'm not looking
there
at you
should be
crazy.
some type of.
But what I'm saying is this: it's just those conversations have to be wild, because the conversations you have with 21, 22, 23-year-old, you realize, oh, a lot of this metaverse shit, right? And one of my homies was trying to be like, yo, we've been in the metaverse since we were young. AOL Messenger is different than goddamn Instagram, bro. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, you have an ability to create a whole persona of yourself that is not only non-existent really in the meta, but in the reality too.
Yeah.
Like, you have apparatuses that allow people not only to change the way their face looks, change the way their ass looks, change the way their skin tone looks, but you have apparatuses that allow, or you have businesses that allow people to take pictures and design studios to look like private fucking jets and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, it's like
it's way
we've
crazy.
been knowing you could buy likes and buy retweets and buy different types of shit, but it's just like, when it comes to the meta, any part of it can be manipulated, right?
Truly.
And at this point, there's very little natural force. Like, people will be like, no, I mean, you still have organic likes and organic this, but it's like, but once you get to a certain threshold, like, really nothing's about it organic. Like, even just hitting hashtags, that's not organic anymore. You know, you're putting yourself now into, if somebody searches that hashtag, a confined space of relatable topics based off this one word, which you like. The best thing you could do for that right now in the real world is be like, oh, I like wine, let me go to a winery. I skate, let me go to the skate park. But even that's still like organic in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But all that to fucking say, you have women right now who will take that experience and be like, yo, that's more important than anything that's happening in the reality. And hold up, we're gonna pause for just a second. Yeah, I know, but they'll take like that shit like to mean more than real merit, you know, like getting quote unquote an education, getting quote unquote a skill, quote unquote getting like working on your body in the gym, you know, working on a skill that's maybe not necessarily recognized by all society, but like to people of that subculture, it's cool. You know, skateboarding, kendama, snowboarding, swimming, fucking doing hair, like just anything that has real merit through like human interaction or being in the reality of like the world, you know,
Right.
Is lost on some of these women, and more often so in these women, or more often these women because they've grown up in a time where like the meta is not only normalized, but it's integral to your real life. You
But
know,
then,
like
what about men as well too? It's
Oh.
like men.
I'm only saying women because I don't talk to men. I assume it's the same if you're dating men of that age, maybe even more so.
Or
Because
not even dating men of that age. I mean, just like the almost like inverse perspective that a lot of times you find men expecting women to look like these things that they see on Instagram, or have something really good at home and still be engrossed in looking at bitches on their phone as
bro,
women.
are we getting
You know
into
what
another
I mean?
porn topic?
No, I mean
We've
it's
had
just-
those on the comments
but-
on the podcast. No, but
it's like the overall thing of, you know,
it's
just like
it's desensitization, bro.
it's the desensitization and it's the localization of all of these like carnal pursuits, which is Instagram. You know, like this thing that you can immediately go to and see every single thing that you like in a scrolling, vapid manner, and nothing becomes special. Even skateboarding,
Bro,
you know?
fuck nothing becoming special. It's gotten to a point, and again, I'm not hating on my incels, I'm not hating on my sex workers, but it's gotten to a point where we've normalized, like prostitution's still technically legal, but we've normalized the online girlfriend, bro. Like we're moving towards commoditizing love and romance through the meta, like countries like Japan has, and the reality in essence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's getting interesting, bro.
I mean, these things have already been.
They're saying the age of like male virginity is like rising. You know what I'm saying? And they're saying because like basically like younger males are finding it hard to interact with the opposite sex and and I'm not saying that like.
I mean, that's why they got the Pete Davidsons of the world. You know, the Pete Davidson's back.
Relax.
You know what I'm saying?
Relax. Pete Davidson's always been around. He's a lanky 6'3"
That's
white boy who's funny with tattoos, bro. Like, come on, bro.
That's the one you gotta
for like them white
for.
girls, bro. He's like the archetype for them,
I mean,
bro.
it used to be.
Think about it, bro. Again, all of those women are dating like a doppelganger of each other.
I mean,
when it comes to just physicality, like
I don't know. I don't.
Machine Gun Kelly.
It's because it's the agenda. They're trying to bring back White Boy Summer.
Travis Barker.
Exactly. They're trying to bring back white boys.
Bro. What do you mean bring back? White boys have never left a certain dynamic.
But did you see the point in time
on this whole
when
conversation.
all of the Kardashians, you know, were like dating black dudes at one point in time?
Yeah, and they got them obsessed with crack.
Ooh.
Almost committed to.
Now look, they're dating people that are already obsessed with crack.
Facts.
Already been committed, so now they don't have to deal with all of the spin out because they already have like.
Oh wait, that's
the
definitely Megan
lowered.
Fox. Fuck, I don't know.
Think about that.
Back to bring this back to young men is all I'm saying. Pause is all I'm saying. It's just the meta does have the same ability to fuck up the use heads, and I think, and honestly, like it's a little sexist, but when I think more of like adolescent dudes and like men in their 20s, early 20s, what they probably get misconstrued a lot of times is like the power plays between people, right? So if you're from a worse part of an inner city, like what's that power play a lot of times? If it's not, because if you're in a worse part of the city and you don't have the ability to make it out, it's gang violence. You know what I'm saying? It's like those power plays. If you're a young man who goes to college and you're doing like the normal white fraternity shit and you're also in accounting, like what's the power play there? It's like the confines of consent and confines of different dynamics between like people who might have less than me in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like all that shit gets. You get the human interaction that like allows people to like continue inhabiting spaces together. Like you're losing a lot of it based off of these shallow interactions you have online. And these shallow interactions are becoming less additional and more integral to everybody's lives. Like the fact that LinkedIn is now so, because again, I've managed to keep myself away from it for as much as my mental health can take. Like I don't get weirded out by like likes or get weirded out by how many LinkedIn offers I have or whatever, right? My career allows me to keep it going the same way. Like if I get an interview with you, get you face to face, I know that shit's gonna go the way I need it to go, you know? I like social media because it passes the time, but I also understand that like I can't spend my entire day on it. Like I was giving myself an hour when I was on my cleanse, and I haven't turned off the timer off my cleanse. So if it hits the hour mark, I know, oh, I've been spending a lot of time on this. You know what I'm saying? I do other shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the answer is for the public. You know, I would just say that like try to take an eternal record of how it makes you feel. Like especially right now, we were saying putting your phone down, taking a break from it works well during this time of Cold War where we're literally worried about nuclear missiles being fired at any country and starting like just cataclysmic fallout. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I would say the biggest thing at this point would be to get off of your cell phone. You know, get into some nature, read a book.
Because the most morbid part of it too is like, because if the shit is gonna go down, you don't want to die on your phone, do you?
Could you imagine the last thing that you see is a screen?
As oh my god, Kanye West tweet.
Drops.
Kanye West tweet.
That's
Kim Kardashian.
awful. That's awful.
Yeah.
It's a possibility for a lot of people.
Like, it's one of those things where Don't Look Up can be looked at in so many ways a little bit. Oh shit, are we still on? I think we're still on. Don't Look Up can be looked at in a lot of different ways, but one of the standout moments for me was just how everybody spent their last few moments at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I make this joke about, like if like the world goes, I just want to be taken out in the first strike. You know what I'm saying? Like in Don't Look Up, all the niggas fighting to be on the plane to go to like the planet whatsoever. You know, I don't want that shit. I want to be the first one in the first strike. I don't want to be out there at the end, just crew. And it's like, I want to go the way that like, the main characters went, where they're around a table with their loved ones and they're just trying to just be present in the love they have, and they know in the blink of an eye it's all gone, right? Versus the two motherfuckers who are getting blasted at the goddamn table diner in like New York, and it's like, oh, do you want to fuck? And he's like, no, let's just talk shit about people we don't like. Like, damn, bitch, like that's all you wanted to do. But at the same time too, like, no knock to it. It's just I feel like
I've never seen that movie.
It's interesting. It's an interesting movie. I think you'd enjoy it.
It's a very, very good satire.
Supposed to be satire, but
Supposed to be satire. How do you always say that?
because like they're saying like it's supposed to equivalent global warming, but it's not global warming. It's a meteor. Like we didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not exactly the result of our shit. Now the response to the meteor is satire.
And I think that's the part that's supposed to be satire.
Yeah, but I mean like
Because global warming is real. A meteor is real. People don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's just simple. You try to make it more complicated.
You know, listen,
very simple.
at the end of the day, put your phone down, bro, because
Absolutely.
this world is crazy, and there's people out there that literally think they have it all figured out, and they're doing their damnedest to make it harder for the rest of us just to coexist.
Damn. Facts.
And if you don't have any power to stop it, bro, the worst thing you could do is give yourself an early heart attack or early stroke by stressing yourself out. So yeah, we're 2 hours in. That's our health topic of the fucking week. Let's get into the content of the week. Who am I gonna land on?
I got one.
What do you got?
Euphoria season finale
Okay.
dropped this past Sunday.
All right. Don't say shit because
you haven't seen it.
3 episodes I gotta binge, and it's not because of our last conversation.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you missed it.
Damn.
Yeah, him and Donica were going hard on Euphoria, and they ended the conversation, and the homie goes, "So you guys gonna keep watching Euphoria?" And I go, "Yeah." and then he has Donica, who's been arguing on his side for the last 45 minutes, and she goes, "Yeah." and he goes. Really? She goes, yeah, I just want to know like what happens.
At the end of the day, it's a story.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Shit. Like,
I gotta listen to that episode. I want to hear that perspective.
Like I was the slave that they was like, "Yo, Harriet here." Damn, bro, it's 6:30, bro. Can she like wait like 15? No, I'm just kidding. Funny. I'm just kidding. I'd have been the first one on that bitch. I'd have been with that turning his ass. But what content of the week you guys, sir?
I would say the Jeen-yuhs Part 2. If you haven't checked it out, have you seen any of those yet?
Nah, my nigga. What I was gonna give you is this.
By the time all 3 of them come out, I will see all of them.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. I'm not good at watching TV.
I understand. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
This is the Kanye Netflix special?
Yes.
Ah.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen any of it.
It's
unfortunately.
genuinely worth a watch.
Really?
If you've ever listened to any of his music, it is an introspective view into his personality and perspective.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so God damn. Is that COVID? No, we're done with that shit. But my content of the week is going to be an old anime that's classic that I finally have taken the time out to start watching. I'm terrible at watching fucking documentaries and real TV, but like I love anime. Berserk, bro. I'm watching the 2012 adaptation on Netflix. Oh, wait.
Called Berserk?
Berserk. It's super gory. It's stories great though.
Okay.
I've had to take a couple breaks because that shit gets to you a little bit. But other than that, quick question.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. We're gonna get out after this. Say if y'all broke up with somebody and you had access to their like Hulu account or whatever, and during the relationship they said, because you took a break once and you were like, oh, I deleted all the stuff, I deleted all the accounts I had of you because blah, blah, blah. And they were like, yo, why would you do that, you dumbass? You should just use it. Like that's what I would do if I still had the shit until like I can't, Would you still use it?
No, I'm a prideful nigga.
Okay.
Out of pride, I'd be like, no.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Y'all are better than me. It's going on 2 years. That's our episode. It's the Bullshit for Your Health podcast, episode 89. All right, we're going to leave you with a closing song. We're going to do Gunna 200 for lunch. Peace. Have a great week. It might be the last week we experience, but I'm glad y'all fucking listened to us. All right, guys. Peace out.
Yeah, I had 200 for lunch. Last night I fucked on the cunt. 24 shows in a month. Looked at that time, it was crunch. Ice, diamonds is crushed. Louis V, but my t-shirt is tucked. Yeah, cold as a slush. Belly red, so I'm sipping the test. Go get it, I must. Fuck up good enough, pussy, no must. Yeah, loving that lust. My cool lawyer, we trusted in us. Yeah, money need up. Cause this shit out there gone in a month. Yeah, look at it glitz, see what I mean. A lot of big faces, be pink and green. Fuck on the naked, bust on the spleen. Cross on the car, 3K for the jeans. Feel like a pimp, keep a trick on my sleeve. I'm cool on you dark cause I don't want the fleas. I'm smoking exotic, it don't got the seed. Feeling the roof and I can feel the breeze. Tigers got nachos, that's chili cheese. Smoking gelato, got me feeling knees. Might got that rolling for my oldest knees. I drop a hit, I'm knowing what they need. I check out the motor, gotta have some speed. Louis by focus, I can see the feed. Cash running over, I can feel the greed. I had 200 for lunch. Last night I fucked on the cunt. 24 shows in a month. Looked at that time, it was crunch. Ice, diamonds is crushed. Louis V, but my t-shirt is tucked. Yeah, cold as a slush. Belly red, so I'm sipping the test. Go get it, I must. Fuck up good enough, pussy, no must. Yeah, loving that lust. My cool lawyer, we trusted in us. Yeah, money need up. Cause this shit out there gone in a month. When they got rich out the ground in the mud. Riding the roads and the mink is a rug. 911 push in the trunk is a hood. Told her come through, come and sit on this wood. Neighborhood truck used to cap up a jug. Put the net in the back of the hood. I never read and keep that understood. Ain't going backwards, I don't think I could. Be label, be trapping rappers like they should. Got L's in that bad bitch, I feel life is good. They naked in the pavement, held down on my foot. Been patiently waiting, wish a nigga would. Shit drop a location, my niggas a dub. I got an old bitch, can't wait for me to scroll. Shit picked up 200, don't hit it the 4. I had 200 for lunch. Last night I fucked on the cunt. 24 shows in a month. Looked at that time, it was crunch. Ice, diamonds is crushed. Louis V, but my t-shirt is tucked. Yeah, cold as a slush. Belly red, so I'm sipping the test. Go get it, I must. Fuck up good enough, pussy, no must. Yeah, loving that lust. My cool lawyer, we trusted in us. Yeah, money need up. Cause this shit out there gone in a month. I blow bush, got these clouds on the butt. Throw them rats up, it look like a flood.